And we're back, and it's just gone 1 o'clock on the last day of February.
Okay.
We fact-checked that. We fact-checked that. It is, and it's 1st of March tomorrow, so it's St. David's Day. So it's very important. We've been joined by a special guest, Jason from Anytime Fitness. Yeah. How you going?
Good, mate. Thanks very much for having me.
You're welcome. So talk to us about what you do. You're a PT instructor at Anytime Fitness.
Yeah.
What does that involve?
We start people out in the health and fitness industry, so people want to come and start to get fit and healthy. It's a bit demanding when you first come to the gym. You're not too sure what to do, so you got a qualified instructor there to help you go through and make sure you get the best out of your membership and achieve all the goals that you're hoping to achieve. I
think it's quite a daunting thing. We were talking about before while the music was playing. I joined a gym last year. My first time I went in, I went on the equipment. I thought I was doing really well, was a bit surprised that I didn't lose a few stone in that first time. Never been back.
That's not
I think I'm pretty average.
You managed to walk?
Yeah, well, I felt like an old man. I was like, I just got bones here, muscles I didn't know I had. It is quite an overwhelming experience to go to the gym, isn't it?
It's quite daunting first time you rock up to the gym. There's people in there who know what they're doing. They've been there for a little while, so everybody seems like they seem to know the swing of things. I remember my first time in a gym. I actually nearly killed the biggest guy that was in the gym the first time I went in there. So that was a bit of an interesting story. I freaked out and left as soon as I did it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the story. There was two really big guys training in the gym. They were lifting up some really big weights, and they left the bench press loaded up with about 300 pounds or 140 kilos. So maybe my first day in there, they went off and worked on the other side of the gym, and I come around the other side and I started taking plates off the bar. So there was 3 plates on one side, 3 plates on the other side. And I started back in 1986, so the equipment wasn't probably the best back then. So I took the 3 plates off, and as I took the last place on the first side, the bar went swoosh, and I fixed straight off the bench, and the guy was sitting on the bench, so it banged on the bench beside him, went over the top of his head, and banged on the other side. So I was kind of like, okay, guys, I'll see you later now. So that was my first time at the gym, so that was pretty quite daunting.
They must have loved you.
Well, surprisingly enough, I met the owner of the gym, and he apologised to me that the guys left the weights there. And he invited me to come back down. Otherwise, I wasn't going to come back down. And they all went over and introduced themselves to me and said, hi, I'm such and such, such and such. So they all said, look, if you need any help, just ask us if you need any questions. Yeah, because at the time I was walking around with my little book, how to lift weights for the first time, by Rocco Pensano. And I had no clue, but they took me under their wing, and that's pretty much what started me out of my...
Is that what kind of helps you then to become a regular at the gym, is the fact that they were welcoming and... supportive?
Well, like you said, when you first walk in there, it's really quite daunting. You think, oh, geez, I don't know what I'm doing here.
There's all these fit people there as well, and it's like...
Well, they don't need to be here.
Okay. Yeah, you go away.
Well, I started from injury. I dislocated my shoulder. I used to play a lot of footy when I was younger, and I kept on popping my shoulder out when I was going for tackles, and so the coach said, how about you go down to the gym and try and fix your shoulder up? And so I thought I'd go down. 1986, PT wasn't such a thing back then. So you walk into the gym and you were pretty much by yourself. So you look at the biggest guys doing stuff, or you get like a little booklet like I had walking around and try to figure it out. So they said, no, come with me, mate, we'll look after you. And they took me through how to do my lifts and show me how to train. I actually started training with the guy who owned the gym, and we got along fairly well. And he said, well, how would you like a job here? And that's pretty much how I started.
Wow. So I suppose, and today when you talk about personal trainers, they are well educated, so they know about the human body, they know what's safe, what's not. Is that right?
Yeah, well, you have to be qualified now to be a trainer. Not so much when I first started. I did work qualifications, but they're pretty, how you going? But so anatomy and physiology is a big thing now. Nutrition, not so much a trainer won't talk to you too much about nutrition, and that's another field for nutritionalists as well. So normally we specialise in exercise programming and the likes to make sure that your forms and techniques, you're not going to hurt yourself on the floor. Yeah.
So you have a lot of people that come down then that are very much at the beginning of their fitness journey, or have been out of it for a while and are coming back in. Anytime's
a pretty friendly kind of environment, family more environment. So it's not so much a specialty trainer. We've got a big variety of people coming down there, so got a lot of weight loss people. Not so many injuries. I've got a few people down there doing rehab and stuff like that at the moment. But yeah, it's kind of like what would you say, an introductory to exercise kind of gym. So yeah, it's a pretty friendly, kind of open-minded kind of place, and yeah, it's not too much emphasis put on how good or how amazing you are when you first start. Yeah.
Do you have many people that you work like on a one-on-one with, or do they just come and use the equipment?
Yeah, well, as a personal trainer, like you set up one-on-one sessions, so people book in with me, and I take them through their exercise program. So we set the programs out for them, and then we spend a bit of time for them teaching them how to do the exercises, what intensities they should be training out, help explain to them how the exercises work. I explain a lot of anatomy and physiology, which is where your muscles are, what they do, and how you should feel them when you're doing your exercises. So that kind of fast tracks your results and puts you in a situation where you feel comfortable and you understand what you're trying to achieve. Yeah.
So they come to you with like the end goal, whether that's weight loss or whether it's building muscle or...
Yeah, I've been in the industry now for about, 27 years. I've done a lot of competition stuff with powerlifting and bodybuilding. So
yeah,
quite often I'll get some people who are just starting out and they realise what I've done in the past and they say, could I achieve that? So then they become long-time clients of mine.
Yeah.
So I take them right through to a competitive level. So we've been to a few world titles now, had a few world champions. So yeah, so they tend to stick with somebody who knows what they're doing. There's different levels of personal training, I suppose, where people like me have had 27 years experience, been to multiple world titles and stuff like that. And then there's people who've just finished doing their courses and just starting out in the industry. But the levels throughout now fairly professional, and most of the trainers know reasonably what they're talking about when they're training you. Yeah.
yeah.
And do you think that a gym environment is a good place to start for someone that doesn't have that knowledge?
Yeah, most definitely. Like, there's a lot of information out there now. It's too much information, I suppose, where it's difficult for people to sift through what works and what doesn't work. So if you're training with a professional, the guidance is pretty much going to get you the better result more quickly. Yeah, and it's safer for you. Like when I first started, like just taking those plates off the gym equipment and nearly killing that guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. So to have a professional with you, it's always going to be better. Yeah.
And cost-wise, how I know back in Greece where I was training and all that, a personal trainer was so much more compared to what you pay at a gym as a fee.
Yeah, definitely. You're paying for the hour of the professional's time, so it's set at a professional kind of rate. Prices do vary though. I look after my competitors, so I train them at a half hour rate for the hour. So depending on the trainer, he gets to decide what that. You're looking roughly around about the $50 to $70 per hour for a good quality personal trainer. Yeah.
And honestly, by today's standards, you think about all the other services out there, that's actually pretty jolly good for a one-on-one scenario.
Well, a lot of people say, how much do you value your health? And it's probably the most important thing. So if you've got a professional who's going to get you the results and give you good quality of life, it's such
priceless.
A better quality of life, once you start training and you're healthy, you feel good about yourself, you put your clothes on, you look good in them. You can go out and play with the kids or whatever you need to do. You can keep up with the kids. So just giving that quality of life, it's pretty much worth it.
So what is it about personal training that you like? Why do you still do it after so many years?
Oh, the reward. I'm passionate about it. I love seeing people, like I sometimes take before photos when we first start, and you see they've got that kind of glum, sad face, and then 4 or 5 months later on, they're all smiles, and it's like, look at my jeans, they're falling off me now. So that never gets old, do you know what I mean? Taking competitors to competitions and stuff like that, it's the biggest thing they've probably done in their life, and the most rewarding things they've done. So reward for effort. So that's a good thing as a personal trainer. I can get somebody to that level as well. And I've trained with a few stroke patients and just helping them trying to get their neurological pathways working again, and just helping somebody out to walk again. It's
a
pretty
challenge.
rewarding. It's a good job.
My mum had a stroke 2006.
Yep.
And we did a lot of exercise. We had 2 PTs come out to see her,
Yeah.
and it was really hard. Like she regained her walking, but her arm was always like that. They reckon that's the last thing to come back because you don't use it so much. But that must be very rewarding to be able to work with a stroke victim and then help them to regain something.
Totally different style of training. Quite often with the stroke patient, their limbs start to curl over and the joint seize up. So there's a lot of manipulation, stretching, getting to pull their joints open, and fairly gentle to like a longer period of time. It's not like your standard exercise programming. You've got to work closely with their physiotherapist, so you get a good rapport, go backwards and forwards. And yeah, it's difficult and it's challenging for the client, but yeah, the rewards are very much effort. I remember that my first stroke patient, she came in and said, look, I wanted to be able to learn to walk in heels again. My doctor said I couldn't do it. So in about 6 months, we had her back in the heels. So she went and seen a doctor, and he was like quite surprised. Like, oh my God, you're in heels. And the smile on her face was just, yeah. So
I always love it when the doctors say you can't do something. It's like, challenge accepted, you know.
Yeah, well, as a trainer, you like to take on challenges as well. So it's like, let's see if we can, So like with my weight loss challenges, the biggest weight loss of 74 kilos in 12 months. We dropped off a guy.
Wow.
And he actually competed. So he went from 162 kilos back to 76 kilos, I think it was, 74 kilos. And he got up in another bodybuilding competition. So
wow, and that's we're not talking just about physical health here. We're talking about, that's a whole life change. That's a fundamental change to someone's life, isn't it?
Well, he first came down, he had 2 heart attacks. And he had 2 young children and a wife, and he wanted to look after them. So he said, I'm not in a good place at the moment. I want to try and get fit and healthy. So we dropped about 32 kilos in the first 12 weeks, which was pretty good. And then he goes, so if I lose a lot of weight, can I do a bodybuilding competition? I said, most certainly, but So yeah, lo and behold, another 6 months, 9 months later on, he was up on stage in his undies. With the bodybuilding was good because we tightened up.
Smugglers.
But with the bodybuilding, it teaches you, you know how a lot of people get loose skin when they drop a lot of weight like that? So through the bodybuilding, we pulled his skin up nice and tight so he didn't have any skin fold or anything like that.
When he stops, but isn't that another issue that he might fall again?
Oh, look, your health and fitness is variable. Your health changes throughout your life depending on what you do in your health and fitness. So, yeah, there's a few elements, your nutrition, your activity. So you can take that into considerations as to how you're going to change. I've known quite a few bodybuilders that have stopped training and put some weight on, you know what I mean, and they don't look nothing like they did when they were training back in their day. You know? So, yeah, it's variable, but it's just something you need to dig in.
And tell us, like, what would you advise? How many times a week should someone do, like, PT? Again,
that comes down to individual, pretty busy lifestyles these days.
I think once a week is not enough, but...
Yeah, you have to expect minimal results from minimal effort, you know. So, obviously, if you're going to go to the gym, I would say a minimum of 3 times a week to get result. But then that's incorporated with a healthy eating plan as well. Your activity levels, so going for walks and stuff in the afternoon. So there's a lot of indirect exercise you can do. You just have to be aware of how much your activity you're doing and how much food you're intaking and all that kind of stuff. When I do my bodybuilders, I like to train with them 4 to 5 times a week, 45 minutes a day. But we do a lot of postural analysis as well. So we move your shoulders around so you don't have a hunchback, or move your hips forward so you don't have a sore lower back. And you start learning about all your different postures and all the downfalls that can happen just from being posturally unsound. So that's another element as well.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Oh, we're all at the
We're
desk.
all putting our shoulders back here, aren't we, in the
All
studio?
sitting properly.
I've come off 3 surgeries, wrist and 2 shoulder from rugby league back in Greece. Had a worker's accident on my back.
Yeah.
So I've been going gym. I got through with hydro as well.
Yeah, hydrotherapy's good.
Hydro. The shoulder I got through with acupuncture.
Dry needling, yeah, it works, yeah.
That worked. Chinese kind of acupuncture, but like he had me like 45 minutes with needles in me, not here, everywhere else apart from here.
Yeah, because it goes through your nervous system.
It goes where it's it was fascinating, but yeah, you have to, and once a week is not enough.
Well, I get a lot of people come to me with chronic back pain, and I say most of the reason why we've got a sore lower back is because our thumbs face each other, and people look at me blankly like, "What are you talking about?" You know. So when your thumbs face over like this, you rotate the upper part of your arm, rotate your shoulder sits forward, you stoop forward, you get a sore lower back. Okay, so I teach people to turn their hands upside down, put their shoulder blades back, and try and walk around like that. It feels very awkward, but it's alleviating for their lower back. Do some stretches with that, do a few little exercises, all of a sudden they've got no more chronic back pain. So it's just a few little things, understanding how your body works and your anatomy, and then you can fix it up and be pain-free.
So you get those hints and those tips, and
That's it.
that's why you need a PT.
So people can come to Anytime Fitness. You guys moved recently?
Yeah, we're at the corner of Council and Reed now. So
Okay,
Yeah, because you used to be near Bunnings, didn't you? Near Ceramico.
That's right. Yeah. We were out there for 5 or 6 years, 7 years, I think, something like that. So now we've moved in. It's a little bit closer to the shops, so we get a bit more foot traffic coming in. It's a nice little gym.
Yeah. And it's part of like that shopping centre kind of complex, isn't it? There's like Good Guys and a few other.
Yeah, it's a new building on the corner.
Yeah.
So plenty of parking. Pretty central. I know there's a bus station there, so quite easy for people to access.
And it's got parking. Yeah, it's got parking on the back as well. It's
Yeah. So you got the 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Got the So it's just near there.
I was just there yesterday. Just went around. So.
And you're a mixed gender gym, so I need to ask: do you have a good good visitation from the female population? Because I know a lot of females out there don't like the idea of going to a mixed gym; they find it a little bit daunting. So, do you have a good balance?
Yeah, like I said, it's a family-friendly kind of gym. It's not really set up for hardcore bodybuilders or powerlifters and the grunters and hard workers kind of thing. So we get a really good cross-section of people coming down there. So, yeah, a lot of the girls feel comfortable. I've got a lot of ladies down there who are trying to lose weight at the moment. So that's a good collective group. You introduce you them to each other so you don't feel like you're all by yourself. So then they start seeing some of the results that some of the other girls have gotten. And, it's thinking, well, maybe I can do this. Yeah.
One thing I actually loved about, I went down to see them, I think, before Christmas, and they've actually got a creche.
Oh, brilliant!
So if you're like a mum or a
great.
dad and you've got these kids and you don't know what to do with them, you can put them in the creche while you're doing your fitness. So I think that's really cool.
Do you have to do the fitness, or can you
drop
off the kids?
Just drop the kids and run. I think that's a really cool. It shows that you guys care about. If they've got kids, then obviously that's going to be a concern.
Well, it's hard for the mums to get away from the house when they've got young kids at home. So having a creche there, they can come down and do their exercises, and not have to worry about the little one while they're training, and we've got a lady in there that looks after them. So they can come in, do their exercises, get all that out of the road, and collect their kids afterwards, and they're away. So it's very handy. Yeah.
Cool. So what would you say to someone who's listening to this or watching this on YouTube and they're not happy with the body, they're not happy maybe with their weight, or maybe they want more muscle? What would you say?
I would say it is very rarely you'll find somebody who's actually happy with the way they look. So they're not alone there. And what I tell most of my clients is 2 arms, 2 legs, a body and a head. We're all the same. So it's what you choose to do with your 2 legs, body and a head that makes the difference. So, not so much your head, but, we can change that a little bit. So if you come down and train, you start taking care of yourself, then you start to feel the physiological changes, the mental changes. You'll learn more about your body image, realise that most of your concerns are the same concerns everybody else has. And it's kind of settling, So I used to do a lot of corporate fitness when I was in Melbourne, and I was working with the top end of town. And I realised that they're just as messed up as everybody else.
Even more messed up, maybe.
Well, they had a lot more pressure, a lot more mental pressure. Yeah. So, and they had a physical result on their bodies as well. So, but knowing that it consoled me. Like, it made me realise that everybody's dealing with something. So when we think that our problems are ours, when we find out that most people share our problems as well. So to look after yourself, it's probably the best thing you can do to make a good quality, positive difference in your life. Yeah.
And so the best way to get started, or if you're interested to know more, do you pop in? Do you like a phone call? What?
Yeah, we've got really good counter staff, so popping in, they can take you for a bit of a tour through the place so you can check it out before you make any decisions. They'll sit down and answer most of your questions. They can kind of match you up with a personal trainer they think probably best suits you at it, like your disposition. And take you through. Then you can decide where you want to take it from there, yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Okay. So is there a website or Facebook that they can, if they wanted to find out more information before they went down?
Yeah, Anytime Fitness. I haven't looked up the website.
We've got our fact checker here.
I'm at Rockingham Anytime Fitness. So that's a good thing about Anytime Fitness as well. Once you've joined up at Anytime, you can train at Secret Harbour, or you can train at Bell Divers, so your one membership qualifies you for all these different gyms. And
that's
so
cool.
You've got no excuse when you go on holiday. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
You're going to get a holiday from Kwinana, you got to go to Secret Harbour for a holiday.
I think
you never know.
There's over 100 Anytime Fitnesses all over Australia now.
Oh, okay.
So they're in every state in Australia. So quite often a lot of people who travel around tend to join up Anytime just for that benefit that they can go to a gym anywhere they go. Yeah.
Do you have the website there?
I sure do. So we're looking at www.anytimefitness.com.au, and then there's actually the selection there. We can actually find a gym that's local to you. So nice and easy.
Anytime near me.
Yeah.
That's what I normally look up. So yeah.
Awesome. And so you're going to be coming back as a regular guest?
Yeah, or if you have any people who want to ring up or they're not quite sure and they don't feel comfortable coming down to the gym, I'd be quite happy to come back and answer some questions or talk some more about health and fitness. And
So next time when you come, we'll throw out to our listeners and we'll get some questions for you in advance, and then we can ask those questions for you.
Yeah, well, hopefully I'll do my best to.
Awesome. Thanks so much for coming in, Jason.
We'll make you sweat.
I'm feeling it already.
Awesome. Okay, this is Michael Jackson and Beat It.